In a quiet corner of Abuja, far from the glittering estates and glass towers, there stood a compound that looked ordinary to the careless eye. It sat on red earth, fenced with aging concrete walls stained by rain and time. The gate was always freshly painted green, though the walls behind it told stories of neglect and secrets buried deep. If you enjoy meaningful African stories like this, stories filled with lessons, culture, and deep emotions, please support this channel by subscribing, liking the video, and sharing it with others. Your support helps this story reach more people and keeps this storytelling journey alive. Thank you so much for watching. Now, let's get into the story. The compound had 8 small, self-contained apartments arranged in a square, all facing a lonely mango tree at the center. Nothing about the place looked dangerous. In fact, it was cheap, clean, and suspiciously easy to rent in a city where accommodation swallowed destinies whole. The landlord's name was Chief Dangana Kwasao. He was a tall man in his late 50s, always dressed neatly, always calm, always smiling in a way that never reached his eyes. People respected him because he spoke slowly and confidently. He never shouted, he never threatened, he never argued. But in that compound, every tenant's life ended the same way. Not in death. Worse, they ended up alive, but empty. The first tenant, Musa the Dreamer. Musa came to Abuja with hope burning in his chest. A graduate of economics from Zaria, he believed Abuja was the city where destinies aligned. He found Chief Dangana's compound through a small handwritten sign, self-contained for rent, fair price. Chief Dangana welcomed him warmly. "Young man," he said, shaking Musa's hand firmly, "as long as you pay your rent and mind your business, you will prosper here." Musa moved in with prayers on his lips and ambition in his heart. The first 2 months were smooth. He got interviews. People praised his intelligence. He even secured a temporary role at a consulting firm. Then things changed. On the 3rd month, Musa began waking up tired. His concentration disappeared. During interviews, his mind went blank. Words escaped him like smoke. He forgot simple things. Files vanished from his laptop. His confidence drained day by day. The consulting firm dropped him. Musa blamed stress. But the dreams started. Every night he dreamed of standing in the compound while shadows walked into his room. He would wake up sweating, unable to remember what they took. Within 6 months, Musa was no longer job hunting. He sat all day staring at nothing. Then one afternoon, Chief Dangana knocked. "My son," the landlord said gently, "I think it is time you move on. This place may not be good for you." He refunded part of Musa's rent. Musa left Abuja weeks later. Years later, people would see him in Kaduna, alive, breathing, but unable to hold a conversation longer than 2 minutes. His destiny had been collected. The pattern tenants came and went, a tailor who lost her creativity, a teacher who forgot how to teach, a young woman with a powerful voice who became permanently hoarse without illness, a software developer whose hands shook whenever he touched a keyboard. Every tenant entered with dreams. Every tenant left broken but alive. And every time a tenant left, Chief Dangana renovated the room immediately. Fresh paint, new curtains, new tenant. No one stayed beyond 1 year. No one ever improved. Yet Chief Dangana grew richer. He built a country house, bought new cars, sponsored lavish traditional festivals back in his village. People whispered that he was blessed, but blessings do not leave wreckage behind. The woman who observed her name was Mary Sewell. She was not like the others. A postgraduate student researching urban poverty, Mary was observant by nature. She noticed patterns people ignored. She listened more than she spoke. From her first week in the compound, she sensed something wrong. She noticed how tenants avoided the landlord's back door. She noticed the mango tree never bore fruit. She noticed how Chief Dangana always knew when a tenant was about to succeed before the success arrived. One night, she overheard him speaking softly in a language she did not recognize, behind his house, long after midnight. The ground smelled of iron and earth. Mary started writing everything down. One evening, Mary met an old woman selling vegetables outside the compound. You live there? The woman asked, pointing. Mary nodded. The woman's face darkened. That house eats people, she whispered. What do you mean? Mary asked. The woman leaned closer. People enter whole. They leave empty. He doesn't kill bodies. He kills futures. Mary felt cold. Why has nobody reported him? The old woman laughed bitterly. Who do you report a man whose victims are still alive? The truth beneath the compound. Mary broke into the landlord's abandoned storage room one afternoon while he was away. Beneath old furniture, she found a trap door. Below it was a small, underground space, dry, carefully maintained. On the walls were names, dozens of names, dates, professions. Each name matched a former tenant. At the center was a shallow pit filled with symbolic objects, photographs, documents, personal belongings. Not blood, identity. Mary understood then. Chief Dangana did not sacrifice lives. He sacrificed purpose. Chief Dangana had once been a nobody. Years ago, he had failed in business, politics, and family. Desperate, he sought forbidden knowledge from an ancient cult that promised power without death, but at a cost. You will feed on what makes a person rise, they told him. Dreams, talent, direction. He was warned never to overuse it, but greed has no limit. So he built the compound, a harvest field for destinies. Mary becomes the target chief. Dangana noticed her curiosity. One evening, he smiled at her longer than usual. My daughter, he said softly, you are too observant. That can be dangerous. That night, Mary felt something pressing against her spirit, but she resisted. She fasted. She prayed. She stayed awake. She escaped the final stage of the ritual by leaving the compound before he could finish. She survived, but barely. Mary published her findings anonymously. People believed her, but not enough. Authorities found nothing illegal, no bodies, no violence, no evidence the law could hold. Chief Dangana continued. But something changed. Tenants began leaving early. The compound slowly emptied. Power feeds on secrecy. And secrecy was broken. Chief Dangana died alone. Not violently, just empty. The same way his tenants lived. They say when he was buried, the ground rejected his coffin twice. The compound was abandoned. Grass swallowed the mango tree. And people learned one painful truth. Not all evil kills the body. Some evil steals what makes life worth living. This story is a fictional cautionary tale, inspired by urban myths and moral storytelling traditions. It explores greed, exploitation, and the invisible ways people can destroy others for personal gain.